Hello, my name is Zhatelier. Welcome back for another episode of EU4 as Palembang, also known as the Forever Wars. So we still got a war against Russia and Portugal's colonies, of course. Neither side of them can really do too much. We got a good chunk of the Portuguese fleet stuck over here in Mozambique. And then the Russian fleets, do they still have a fleet? They do. Whatever fleet they do have is probably going to get hunted down by our galley fleet though, so let's actually go and take these out. And we'll go out and just assign this to privateer in Malacca. And then we'll also take the heavy ship out. We'll send this off to Mozambique. So we're getting quite a good amount of heavy ships already. I do actually wonder if we don't have a look at the... So Britain's still got a larger fleet than I do. They got more heavies than I do. But they're not able to take the hegemony yet, at least. Nor are we, mind you, but, you know, at least they haven't been able to take that. No one's actually taken any of the hegemons yet. Admittedly, our income is not good enough to get the economy hegemon right now, either. For example, oh. One of the more ordinances in Batak. Where's this? Ah, down here, okay. Now, I'm not going to spend admin points on that. I'll tolerate a little bit autonomy there currently. And there we go, that's all of those siege down. Let's get the troops moving to Goa. Because I'm pretty... yeah, we can't move through there manually. Actually, let's go ahead and give the orders as such. Saves me a few clicks. That should be pretty easy landing in there. And then we can siege down Goa. And that's going to give us a bit more war score. Although it's not going to be quite enough. More heavy ships arriving to the Mozambique channel. Oh, there's a battle, but it's not in my war. It's Adal versus Kilwa that is fighting in here. Yeah, Kilwa is getting hit pretty hard there. You know, that's not my problem. Actually, are we over our force limit for Navy? We are a little bit. We could go and get another shipyard somewhere. That's a few more of those. And then also, I did want to get some more Marines down here, didn't I? Let's go and get another 5. And get another Corsa in Timor. So that's good. Or Corsa's, you know, situation in the area there. Or the area in Timor. And there we go. Goa's been sieged down. We can go and pick up these Marines. And probably just get these troops back into... get to Mauritius. There's a bit more neutral location. I'm still pretty sure that the Portuguese armies in South Africa are too large for me to fight on. But at least we sieged down a few places in India in particular, and we should be able to hopefully force them into peace deal at some point. Well, they don't actually... let me just double check the peace deal. So Palau and Zanzibar. Yeah, I suppose that would be alright. I wonder if Kilwa is actually losing this war. Oh, it's Adal Burundian. Yeah, they are probably going to lose that. We might want to consider doing a war against Kilwa. Although they've got... they've still got 46,000 men. So it's not really that easy necessarily. But, oh, we've still got another galley fleet over here. Huh. Alright, then I'm just going to go and send this off to... probably Binton, actually. It's going to be the new blockade fleet for Strait of Johor. Sort of permanent fleet in there. Not necessarily always out in the open, but or in the waters, but you know, in the region. There we go. So that's 10 Marines. Is that going to be sufficient? How much do they have troops? I mean, they got military. Yeah, they got 9,000 there. If we were to get a bit of cannons with these, they should be all right. There goes most of the money, but that is increasing the army size a little bit. There we go, the heavy ships have drawn in here, so we've got 41 heavies now. That ain't too bad, including 4 flagships. Of course, we only get bonuses for that one. These are still okay ships, I suppose. Oh yeah, this got a pretty good speed. Speed of 11. How much? Oh, right. And of course, we got these in here. So how much do the galleys have? They got a speed of 6.75. I guess. They're not particularly high. So yeah, the heavy ships are going to be our sort of a fire brigade in a lot of ways. Let's get to Coastal Sofala to blockade some more stuff in here. They got another 3,000 men there. Oh, they're blockading us in Nauru. Okay, there's a small fleet. They're heading to... Well, they're not actually heading to anywhere right now. I could go ahead and just detach a small blockade in here. And detach a small... Oh, actually, let's raid that first. And detach a blockade. Send these to Mozambique channel so we can keep the galleys in here. While we send in the rulers or the heavy fleet off to... back into Indonesia. Yeah, we got the fleets there now, so let's get these back in this way. And go to Australia first, and from there, if they are still there after that, I'll go and hunt those down. Storms, oh no. Sumbawa gets storms, local goods produced, okay. Well, that's only for 2 years, so it's not the end of the world. It's not ideal, mind you, it's not the end of the world. And Russia is still, well, yeah, they haven't lost too much of a war score, but I think that eventually they'll be willing to take a peace. It just might take a while before they're willing to take anything meaningful. And Portugal, well, they're not actually that far from reaching the max ticking war score, or we are not that far from reaching the max ticking war score. Technically speaking, if we count the total amount of fleets, the enemies do still have a slight... Actually, I don't know if they have a slight advantage. About 300 ships, so actually I think it's about even. Oh, there we go, we're actually not too far away from getting in here. We're repairing along the way as well. We'll go ahead and catch that fleet. I don't think they'll know what hit them. Oh right, of course they had the Kiribati over here. But yeah, that's another 19 ships in addition to the 66 over there. So that's... Yeah, they'll still have another 50 ships somewhere, mostly probably in Sevilla or something like that. We've got our artillery, excellent. And we're going to have our naval combat down here. They're trying to run away, but they won't be able to. And we caught them, and we sank them. Yeah, well, we captured 8 ships of them, but yeah, with that fleet is no more. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and just get these back into somewhere around here. Then we'll take those light ships away. And we'll probably send those to start privateering in Zanzibar, because that is a very valuable location. Because there's a lot of money flowing through there, or at least attempting to flow through there. And I would like to hold on to as much of it as possible. There we go, let's get these into New Zealand. Both of them have port level 5. I don't know if... We don't have enough troops to actually siege them yet. Might need to get a bit larger army. So, ooh, they've got a fairly high skill level general over there. That, on the other hand, doesn't have a general. I might just need to go ahead and build up a bit more troops. I'll start with more marines. That's another 5, and then we'll probably just get another 5 cannons. We could get another quality idea, but actually we want to get the Miltech. That's going to be very crucial. Get the bit of cavalry, although the cavalry isn't really that important for us, but their taxes are going to be very important. Yeah, just 2 galleys is enough to blockade these 3 ports over here. Oh, that's, yeah, we got a fairly good blockade ability, I suppose. I've got a better fleet over here that will quickly just upgrade. It's mostly the transport in that fleet that needed upgrading, I guess. How much are we making money now? Down to 150. Oh, well, I suppose, yeah, our private sharing has gone down a little bit. We might have lost some of the other bonuses as well that we had. I suppose we will be returning, or slowly recovering. There's the Marines. We'll just go ahead and get these combined. We'll just order the build of the... I suppose another thing, of course, is we've got more expenses right now with the army expansion. There we go. So we'll get the 5 artillery in there. So that's going to get us to 10 artillery. Well, there we go. West Timor has been converted. Good. There's still quite a bit of devastation in here, actually. I'm going to go and put the devastation edict. It will increase the maintenance quite a bit, which is not ideal, but if we could get rid of the devastation quickly, that'd be nice. Oh, Sunda, they're still fighting in Spain. Against Spain. Oh, and Philippines is still pretty... Well, everything except Langfang's area and my area, so are fully occupied in here. So both Spain and Russia are having some hard times. Which I'm all for it. Oh, Poseidon actually managed to get the landing in here. They are still allies of Bengal and Malacca. Now, if I remember correctly, technically speaking, if we have a blockade in Stage of Horror, at least what it used to be, I don't know if they've changed that. But even if Malacca owns both sides of this, it doesn't factor in the allies. Like we can still blockade the allies from going through, so Bengal would not be able to actually join in on that properly. Now, I suppose our army still needs to be increased quite a bit before we're ready to fight against Malacca and Pasai at the same time. Because, while they're not desperately strong or terrifyingly strong, they are still somewhat strong. Another one, of course, would be if we were to fight Sunda. There's so much nationalism that we could take over there. That is reduced cost and aggression. It's just, right, and war, we can assign the war goal. Oh, actually, yeah, Bali would not be a bad one. They got a bit more troops right now for us to, well, rather, we're not quite ready for dealing with them yet. But we might do that soon, and we can take a whole lot of land from here, hopefully. Including probably Sunda, we can take probably both of those. At least we got the permanent claims in there, so you should be able to easily take that. And there's so much of Java that we should be able to take over. Not quite everything, but a good chunk of it, nonetheless. And then if we were to then in that war release Palembang from being the tributary, and then we can do a war against Langfang, Malacca, Pasai, and Palembang. Actually, that's still going to be a bit bad. Might want to break the Langfang's alliance as well there. Or we could alternatively just declare war on Langfang. After the... well, actually, no. If we fight Sunda, that's going to call in Langfang anyway. So we might want to break that alliance then. And then that means that Palembang only has Pasai, Malacca as their allies. And then, of course, they'll get, technically speaking, protected by Mughals. But that's less of an issue because they're pretty far away. They don't have any ports. And they'd have to march through quite a bit of land. And they might still not be able to make it through. Now, I think for that war, what we might just want to do is make sure that we focus down on sieging down Siak as quickly as possible. And after that, we can then focus on everything else that we need to. Because at that point, we can keep the enemies not able to cross the straits at all. We can siege down the rest of the area here, then go after Pasai, for example. And then go after further against Malacca. And then eventually focus down on Palembang as well, which means that we can take Surabaya, which is one of the provinces needed for forming Malaya. I did discover so Chaya over here is one of the provinces that we still need, so we still need to fight against Ayutthaya, but they have lost a decent chunk of their military strength now. Interesting, but they did also lose a lot of their ships and all that. But like, of course, they are still stronger than we are, but we are getting up to 90 regiments now. Of course, a lot of that is Marines, so they're not really that great for combat. But it's still okay to have, I suppose. Yeah, the Portuguese fleet is still safely secure up there in their port. They're still not willing to take a peace deal. And I'm gonna guess Russia is, yeah, they're not willing to take a peace deal yet either. Well, that's fine by me. What we may need to do is we may need to use a bit of points again to reduce war exhaustion at some point. We're avoiding as much as possible attrition currently, because that is one of those things that will increase it. So if we can avoid it, we will avoid it. And I can't wait to get the... well, the aggressive expansion impact is going to be quite nice. Siege ability is going to be very nice. Extra diplomat and advisor goals is actually quite nice. Less corruption and foreign spy detection is also somewhat handy. But the privacy efficiency and chance to capture enemy ships plus 25%, that is what we're looking after. Or looking for. That is something that we desperately want to have. So if we were to fight Sunda, they would have about 55,000 men total. That's not really that bad. Plus, we'd be able to probably capture some more ships, but we're not going to do that yet. I think we're still going to focus down on New Zealand to get rid of these two other native nations over here. And we can give that area to a vassal. They'll be hopefully a bit happier. They are down to 70% limited side right now, so that's actually not that bad. And of course, it is going to make them a bit stronger. Ah, new election. Okay, well... okay, I don't know. We'll go with the captain still. Maybe we'll get something better this time. Also go for the cooperation cost and aggressive expansion impact. Because that's actually going to reduce the core cost of it. Actually, I don't know if it has an impact on these. It does, okay, good. That's going to allow us to get the remaining core stunts for slightly cheaper. So we're getting a good 10 ducats per month. Although I suppose our overall income has dropped drastically. But a good chunk of the income was coming from just blockading the enemy stuff, so there is that. Is there, there's a little bit of privateering actually that we could do. Or raiding rather over here. Ooh, improvement in trade tech knowledge. I'm going to take the Diplo points right now. I know that it's got a bit more inflation. But we need to reduce the inflation soon enough anyway, so... Oh, Diplo tech cost goes down for 10 years. Well, I mean, I suppose that's quite nice. Oh, that's 170 ducats. Another 17, and then we'll go and right down some of the Java coastline over here. And then we should be able to probably build some more stuff, actually. You know what, we'll have a look. The workshops, they're not initially the best right now. Anyway, another thing, of course, would be maybe a bit more manpower. That's never a bad idea. Or town halls. Yeah, actually, let's get a bit of town halls. Just get those basic stuff built in here, so that's going to be allowing us to get a bit more. We'll save up a little bit on the upkeep. Have a bit more states cord, although it's going to take a little bit of work to get to that point, but that's alright. There we go, that's another 100 ducats. So that's pretty decent. I'm going to go and get these back into the vicinity of Strait of Johor, so whatever we need to, we can utilize those, locating the straits once again, and we can finally get the middle tech. We'll actually be ahead of time for a little bit. Get the cavalry upgrade, not that we have a whole lot of cavalry, mind you. Oh, right, that reminds me. I guess we can get these out of here. Can't go through Palembang. Where's the... Right, there's the transport fleet. Oh, no, they did not end the war yet. They only got the 13,000 men. Oh, well, in that case, we could just get these troops in here. Where's the other army? The bigger army? Oh, right, down here. I guess this is something that we might want to move around. So let's actually move the transport fleet down here to Palu. And then prepare to fight against Sunda. So Sunda's got 34,000 men. Which is a decent bit. They've got Miltech 23. Yeah, they're 23 across the board. Same as... Actually, no, we're not quite there with the admin tech. Which we do still want to get, but I think right now, well, completing the core is going to be the first thing on the list. And then we'll get the inflation reduction. Because that is going to allow us to start reducing the inflation and keeping it in check. Because right now it's still increasing, although not a huge amount, but it is increasing. I'd like to keep it a bit lower than that, if possible. Oh, Truce with Spain ending. Alright then. I wonder if they're going to declare war on me again. I mean, they're currently losing a bit of a war against Langfang, so it's unlikely that they'll try quite yet. But sooner or later, they probably will give it another go. Oh, and looks like, Ottomans are getting stronger and stronger. Austria has lost, well, rather, I suppose it's Hungary that lost most of that area there. Well, they've been beaten back pretty hard. Alright, I forgot that we had these, I guess we can get these down here. Drawn in that fleet. We're still hunting down some stuff, are we? In theory. I haven't seen anything to hunt down, though. And these, transport ships, I'm going to send to privateer in... I guess we can go back to Canton. Going to be worth a decent bit of money. And then we did have the some of the light ships here somewhere. Yeah, down here. They're going to go and privateer in Zanzibar. We control quite a bit of the trade already, but, you know, we can always get a bit more money out of it. And we do have the heavy fleet in here, which right now, I guess we'll just get the leader, or the Grand Captain in charge of that. There's going to be some Catholic zealots, apparently. How's the devastation looking like? Still quite a bit. Well, it's slowly reducing, but it's just not that quickly. Get another town hall. I mean, these do reduce the state menace a decent bit, so that should honestly be fairly good. Well, I mean, I suppose we can cut down the expenses a little bit in there, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And we can maybe know the workshops aren't really that much. Any good temples? I suppose the temples aren't really that great. Oh, no. Where am I building that? That's not a good one. Let's have a look at the temple cities, though. It'd have to be one of the ones that has already gotten a level, but even then, it's probably not going to be a whole lot, so I'm not going to bother with those. Shipyards, I might want to build some more. Probably in places where it's not too bad. Or like, there's more room for more buildings as well, so it's not going to blockade everything in terms of expansion. But there we go. The troops in Australia are now ready to be shipped into New Zealand. We might want to actually send in the heavy fleet down that way. No, I can actually park it right there now that I think of it. It's going to be an easy exit. Wild pirates of Somalia. Oh yeah, a dial from Somalia. Alright then. Ready as Zanzibar. Huh. Well, I mean, that's not really my problem, I'll be honest. It does mean that there's a bit more areas that cannot be raided current. Ooh, but there's some stuff down here in Bengal that could be raided. There we go, some 90 ducats. Be able to get the raiding done. Oh, it's going the other way first. There we go, that's another, well, 28. So not quite as much as I was hoping for, but it's still good enough. We'll get one of the generals up here. Actually, no, we'll get the one with the siege pips in here, and then I suppose it might be time for us to do a quick little war. It's going to be some troops, but it's not too bad. Go for the war against the world. Go in there. Where's the heavy fleet? Oh, right, there's a bit of fleet down that way. Still on its way. I'll go and park it down that way. I have a quick little battle in here. It's hills, potentially across a river. No, it's just the hills. That's the stack wipe. We need a 19 regiments in here, so most of the army is needed in here. But with the 2 siege pips, and once we get the fleet in here... Oh. Right, Battle of Cook Strait. We captured some light ships, I guess. Yeah, we did. We did lose... Oh, Strait of Luzon. Right, there's a bit of Russians around here, but I suppose that means that our galley fleet should go after them. There we go, we've got even more light ships over here. Not gonna do the raid there. What we are gonna do, though, is naval barrage. So it's already 14%. Storms in... Oh, Zimbabwe. So is this... Right, yeah, it's down here. Well, not much I can do about that. It keeps getting storms. Oh, and there we go. That was only 46 days of besieging. That was a quick one. Let's head down south. We'll go and give control of this to Waitangi. And we capture another Transvaals, I guess. Let's get the ships ready to do a blockade on the other side. Our converter is Timor. Excellent. 25,000 men versus there's 7,000. It's hills, so it's still going to be a -1 for us, but it's not quite as bad. Although that was only -1 down here as well. There we go. That's another victory. We'll do the naval barrage, so it starts at 7%. There should be relatively quick siege, although they've got a massive defensiveness in here. So they've got the defensive stance, that's 15%. Defensive mentality, 25%. And the Privy Council Establishment Act. Yeah, they got a decent bit there. And we could get lucky and get this siege down on the first go as well. It's unlikely, but it is possible. Okay, no, we did not get quite that lucky. Now, Russia is starting to be a bit more... No, they're not quite willing to take the peace deal yet. What about Portugal? Not yet either, but they are getting closer. So we can take a bit more land from the enemy. Also going to go out and take the light ships away from here. Go out and send these off to Belitung for the time being. And then, I suppose, I don't know if we want to send more of those to Canton to deal with some of the, or, you know, provide a bit more privateering in here against the potential Russian presence there. Come on, do we get lucky? Nope, disease outbreak. That's pretty much the exact opposite of lucky. Oh, we're actually 7 years away from enlightenment. Okay, so we want to get the claim fabrications, allow trans-disruption peace treaty. Can claim entire states. Oh, that could be quite handy, although we don't actually need the claims all that much right now. But yeah, so what we'll do over here is we'll give these 2 provinces to our vassal. That's going to keep them somewhat happy. And then we can probably, once we are no longer at war, which might actually happen soon-ish, we'll give the province over here to our vassal as well. So they'll control all of the, New Zealand on their own. There we go. Let's go and give control of this to Waitangi. We'll let the battle go through. Yeah, we didn't actually capture anything. That's right. So we'll start with the ally over here first of all. We'll take the money and the province to our vassal. We can get these troops in here. Do we have the diplomat available already? We do actually have another diplomat already. So that province and the money. And there we go. We have peace. Well, we have troops in that war at least. And they're down to 60% liberty desire now. Yeah, because we gave them some provinces, so they're a bit happier now. Still not entirely happy, so we're not actually getting any money from them, for example. You know, it could be worse. So Russia, are they... well, they've still got a decent bit of enthusiasm. Oh, Russia would actually take the peace deal now. Just don't have a diplomat to send yet. What about Portugal? They would also take a peace deal now. Well, well, well. I think we'll start with Portugal. Actually, no, we'll start with Russia. Right, I don't suppose I can... No, I can't demand any money. Well, we can still take the provinces. I think that'll be good enough. We'll also start coring these provinces, I suppose. And then Portugal. You should wait for a day. Portugal we might actually be able to get some money from as well. Or can we take another island? Can we take Nauru? We could take Nauru. Sure. So the some of the castles well is now gone, but that's alright. And money-wise, we're doing okay. Oh, and actually, right, I'm going to give you the province now before I run into another war. So Grand Province, and it's only going to be that one. We can just decide by a little bit. But there we go. Now you control all of that. Go and take these provinces, or not provinces, these troops back out of here. I guess we're going to actually bring them directly into Palembang. And we also want to get these troops out of here. To start preparing for a war against Sunda, which they're still fighting against Spain. You know, we can still start preparing for this at least. Oh, right, of course, we can get these ships back into, well, somewhere. I'm not actually entirely sure where. I guess we'll gather these in Comoros for the time being. And these, yeah, these are the private ships. It sounds about getting, it's not getting cored yet. Okay, but that's still, at least we got another province in here. That'll be quite handy. Oh, no. Right, Portugal's defender of Catholic faith. Well, I mean, it's not like we're going to be declaring wars on Catholics. The Catholics are declaring wars on me, really, most of the time. I suppose it's this one. This is part of Malacca. We could upgrade the natural harbour over here to a interport. So we have a bit more of the trade in here. Actually, how much do we... Well, we got 6% plus our privateers got quite a bit. Japan's even got some privateers in here. Okay. A little bit of a surprise, but sure. But there we go. Finally, we are at peace. For a little bit, anyway. We've got plenty of manpower, though. Oh, there's a revolt. Well, that's in our vassals' lands, and they are able to deal with that. I shall go ahead and... Oh, wait, no, there's another one. Catholic Zealots. Go and get the siege general. Oh, right, that's on a ship right now. Well, I guess we'll get the other general in here, then. Trying to save up some points and just use the existing generals. There we go. That's getting dealt with. Easy victory. Okay, so we've got 3 armies now that we can utilise. Things being 4, but this one's not really going to be all that useful in the next war necessarily. Although maybe there is something that I could do with that. Oh, is there a fort? There is still a fort over here. We'll bring it down here anyway. We can combine into 3 30,000 man armies. Also, do we... Yeah, we've got all of these into a fleet there. All that fleet can be reforged. Or reformed, rather. And then we got the fleet down here in Strait of Johor. We could actually go and upgrade some of those ships. Get in slightly better quality stuff. But I do see that we are actually out of time with this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll show the link down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Next time, bye-bye.